What's going on, everybody? This is the Roaming Prepper channel. Today's video is going to be a little bit off the beaten path because it's actually time sensitive. The information, the season has started. It started on June 1st, but right now my Apple Watch is freaking out. But Storms are on the way. So I will be right back and we're going to do the quick intro and let's get into what's going on Houston Coast and what you need to be aware of if you're going to be in the coast. I'll be right back. Thank you for joining me and welcome once again to the Roaming Prepper channel. If you're new here, I'm your host, Pete. I'm usually the host, although, like I said before, we may have some new guest hosts in and out, depending on whether or not I can finagle and convince certain family members to join me. In any case, welcome back. Hope y'all are doing well. And today's video is going to be a little bit time sensitive. So it is the 17th of June, 2024. And hurricane season officially starts the 1st of June every year. Now, we've been talking about some hurricane preps, but it looks like we are going to have, yes, we are going to have a actual storm forming up. Now, originally it was forming off the Yucatan Peninsula. And hold on a second here. There we go. And the storm was expected to actually go to the west and hit Mexico. And it's actually taking a turn. And as you can see now, they don't think this particular storm will make it to where it will be a full-blown hurricane. But remember, Hurricane Allison was not a full-blown hurricane. It actually was a tropical storm, a tropical depression, but it went over Houston and just peed on Houston for 5 days. Now, when you get 8 inches of rain or 5 inches of rain a day for 5 days, eventually it runs out of places to go. Just to add to the fun, it happened to hit during high tide, so it's not like it could drain into the ocean. The ocean was coming up. So, flooded the city, and we all remember the videos of the guys on the jet skis going up and down the highway hoping the cops make sure that the vehicles that were in the water actually were empty and there weren't dead people in there or somebody was trapped. It was a very interesting experience, and I might try to post some of those pictures later. So if this forms into a formal storm, it will be called Alberto, and it will be the first, or Alfredo. Alberto, I think it's Alberto, could be Alfredo. See, now I want Alfredo for dinner. See, I need to stop. It's the food thing on my channel lately, isn't it? Anyway, it'll be Alberto, Alfredo, or Adolf, or some other nonsense. But it will be the first storm of the season. So as you can see on this map, and I'm going to make my little dude smaller so you can see bigger. Um, this is where Houston is, right about in this. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to do that. Right around here. Oh, right around here. You actually, that's the channel. So this is Galveston and all this fun. Um, this is Louisiana. New Orleans is over here. And you got Homa and Fouchon, LaRose, um, Baton Rouge is up here. Then Lake Charles, all those cities, the whole coast, pretty much, including parts of Mississippi and Alabama, are going to get increased rainfall. But right here, right around the Houston Metroplex, and again, this is an estimate, we're looking at 10 inches right up the Trinity River. And that's not bueno because the 10 inches in the river is going to overflow and it's going to tear up Beaumont. And and Beaumont was a mess during Harvey. Um, Beaumont, Winnie, Texas are going to get clobbered a bit, and it's going to, affect. Of course, Houston's going to get 6 to 8 inches out here. Looks like 9 inches on the coast. It's going to be a lot of rainfall. Um, for me, we were going to make a trip to the area this weekend. That trip has been canceled. It wasn't an urgent trip, and we just don't want to have to drive across Texas because we're coming from, west to east, and we're going to drive through all of this in here. And we just don't want to do that. Is no need. So, in any case, if you live on the coast or if you have family or friends anywhere basically from Pensacola, Florida, all the way to Corpus Christi and Edinburgh. So basically, this entire ridge right here from McAllen, Edinburgh, Brownsville, Texas, all the way to Corpus, Houston, and through New Orleans. They're going to get increased rains, which means you're going to get the winds, you're going to get the rains, you're going to get all the junk that's blown around, you're going to get high tides, the usual stuff. So it's important to understand these things because knowing this has changed our plans. Could we drive in that? Sure, we've done it before. Do we want to? Not really. I don't want to. So if you're in the area, let folks know. If you have family, friends, or you're in the affected areas, let them know, hey, we got some rain. If you are in the area, make sure you have water, make sure you have canned food, alternative lighting. I promise you the power will go out somewhere. Um, Also, make copies, hard copies of your important documents and put them on the second floor if you have a second floor in your house, or put them in an elevated place, or put them in a waterproof bag. You have a lot of options with which to save your documents in case you got to make an insurance claim. You have the numbers handy. Also, I'd recommend saving your insurance numbers in your cell phones. Not a bad idea. Print out your physical phone list so you have people's phone numbers in case you got a call from a public phone or from a phone in a police station. You know what the numbers are and you can call them. Now, if you're traveling, I would avoid the area, okay? Because inevitably, certain people become stupid and they forget water is wet and they're going to go have accidents because they drive like maniacs and they're going to hydroplane. This is not just a Texas thing. I've seen dumbass drivers all over the country. And when it gets wet, they magnify. Like their dumbassery becomes greater. I don't know if dumbassery is a word, but if it was, and I'd like to think it is, they have it and it becomes magnified when weather gets bad. Um, Watch low lying areas, all right? The first seven fatalities we had during Harvey were actually people who drove accidentally into high water. They couldn't see where they were going. One drove into a ditch and got carried away and they drowned. Another one was a police car was going to help someone else, lost, skidded out and went into a bayou. He drowned in his police car. Um, we had other folks who drove into underpasses. And please, for the love of God, if there is a barricade, do not drive around it. It's there for a reason. We had multiple people die because the fire department or the police or, DOT, the transportation guys put up a barrier basically saying, do not pass, road closed. So what did they do? They went around it, went into the water, and then they lost their car. And in a couple of cases, they lost their lives. Stay off the roads. Let the responders deal with it because you go on the road and you break down or get stuck. Now you've made it much more difficult for the first responders, the National Guard, whoever winds up coming out to get around. And you make everyone's life a headache. And then when the water goes away and people like you and I want to go to the store and get groceries, we can't. You know why? Because numbnuts broke down in the middle of the water and they're blocking the road, and that's just frustrating. So stay off the road. Make sure you have meds. If you have elders, check in on them. Make sure they're ready. Make sure you have batteries, lights, just basic stuff. This is prepping 101 at its finest. So there's no reason you shouldn't be ready. Now, if you're traveling to the area, get there sooner than later. Get there before the storm and get into your hotel. I'd also recommend calling the hotel and asking, do they have backup power? A lot of hotels in that area do, not all of them. So, because you don't want to be in the dark in a hotel room, because remember, most hotels now don't have keys, you have an electronic pass card. Those may or may not work if the system crashes, right? So, okay, so now you're in a hotel with a bunch of, 200 strangers and the power goes on. I don't know if those door locks work. I know they have batteries. I don't know how well they work if the Wi-Fi is gone or the internet's gone, but something to think about. Also, apartments, a lot of them have, magnetic seal doors. You lose power, guess what? They don't work anymore. And God knows who will come into the apartment. So be careful. You're going to lose power. So you don't want to be, if you're not familiar with the area, you don't want to be wandering around trying to find groceries. Now, if you're in a hotel or staying with guests as a guest, in that area, get yourself a couple of cases of bottled water, some canned foods, MREs, whatever you can, have it in your hotel room. So that way you don't have to go out. You can eat right there. I'd recommend the canned food because you can eat it right out of the can. I'd also make sure you have rain gear. If you didn't pack rain gear, which you should have, shame on you, and you're going into this area because you have to for business or for personal reasons, um, swing by Walmart or Academy, get a cheap pair of galoshes and a poncho. That shouldn't run you more than 20 bucks. Oh, excuse me, my nose. And it should allow you to at least have some rain gear. Last but not least, fill up your gas tank, check your tires, the usual stuff. Because if the power goes out, the gas stations will go down. And even if they don't go down, all of them don't go down. They're going to prioritize the first responders, the cops, and not the rest of us. So you want to be able to be ready for that. In any case, folks, that's it for this one. This was just a straightforward video. Remember the basics. This is going to be going on, and they say it's moving slow. So this might be a 4 or 5 day event as it just basically floods the area. Be smart, be careful, and I'll see you all on the next video. You guys, God bless, Godspeed, and you guys keep out of trouble. We'll see you later.